years about what the college playoff expansion could look like. Now they've tabled it, and Maddie and I have always been in the camp of let's not get so quick to turn college football into March Madness. How do you feel about it? Did this churn anything up for you?
Yeah, on my end, guys, look, I've been a proponent of expanding the college football playoff for the past 4 or 5 years, and just because you see, even when you watch these ranking shows on ESPN and when you watch some of these games, I mean, the ratings are dropping. I know that they went up a little bit this year because we had some fresh blood. We had Michigan, we had Cincinnati, and then obviously you had the 2 SEC teams with Georgia and Alabama. But I think when you look at March Madness, a lot of people will say you can't take what makes March Madness special and translate it over to the football side. But I think with so many different things changing, with NIL becoming part of the game, with the transfer portal becoming part of the game, to me, you have to incorporate more teams into this college football playoff mix to try to spread the balance of wealth and recruiting and teams picking up transfers. And look, the NCAA March Madness expanded to 64 teams back in 1985. It took until 2018 for us to see a 16th seed upset a 1 seed. So anybody that thinks that there's going to be this immediate churn from Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, those top teams dominating the sport and seeing some of these lower level teams have a chance, I think it's going to still take some time. But I think over a decade or so, if you include 8 to 12 teams, I think it really, it'll balance the field at least in some degree, because you won't have to go to one of those 4 or 5 power programs in order to make the college football playoff. I mean, you throw Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma, those 2 teams have made up for 21 of the 32 slots in the college football playoff. I'd like to see it expand more, get more teams incorporated, and I think that balances the playing field. Maybe not to the same degree we see college basketball, but at least to some level.
All right, Justin, some of these spring games are right around the corner in this conference. Taking Ohio State off the board for you, what spring game and what spring game are you most interested in and why?
Yeah, I think for me, this has probably been an ongoing, a lot of talk about how much this offense has improved, what Casey Thompson can do, both with his arm and his leg. So for me, that's the one spring game I'm really looking forward to watching there on April 9th.
Ohio State ended the year in a way that gave all their fans, great hope, even after losing some key dudes, Wilson and Olave and some others. But you've got a lot of dudes returning. You've got the key one in Stroud. You've got Trey Van Henderson. You've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who own the Rose Bowl. But the focus is definitely on this defense. What is your gauge on the Jim Knowles effect here? Is he going to be the tiebreaker in
the defense in the Big Ten? I think Ohio State has the chance to go back to that 2019 team and channel some of that energy and be the best offensive and defensive team in the Big Ten in 2022. I truly believe that, because I think all those power players ahead of them this season are going to take a step back because of the loss of Big State.
Let's talk a little bit more about Penn State. Sean Clifford, he's coming back for, his 20th year playing quarterback there. But this is going to be just another year where Jahan Dotson's going to be a dude that probably hears his name called maybe in the early second round, late first, who knows. And they've just been churning out playmaker after playmaker. But what do they have coming back now outside of Sean Clifford as a veteran quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest question, and this is where, after the 2020 season, I wasn't too concerned about the status of Penn State because I thought that there were a lot of factors involved there. But I'm starting to grow a little bit on the concern side with the Nittany Lions and James Franklin. And look, nothing's going to happen. He just signed that giant contract extension, and Sandy Barber's on her way out. So I don't think that there's any need to worry about James Franklin's job, at least anytime in the near future. But you look at Penn State, they lost Jahan Dotson. We thought that they were going to have a great running back situation last year with some of the names they had with Noah Cain, John Lovett, some of those other guys occupying the backfield. They just didn't have it. Their offensive line is going to have to make a significant leap this offseason, and I don't know that they can make that leap. And one of the things that concerns me is, as you talked about, Sean Clifford, he's an experienced quarterback, but I'm not sure he's a Big Ten championship winning quarterback. And James Franklin seems pretty set that he's going to be the guy this season. I would look to some of those other players coming in, Drew Allard, Christian Bay, one of those other guys I would think could challenge Sean Clifford for that starting job, and it doesn't sound like that's the case. So you're going to have guys like Parker Washington, Keandre Lambert Smith, some of those other guys, Steve maybe the freshman running back Nick Singleton coming in, maybe they can make an impact. But to me, it all comes down to Penn State's offensive line, because they're going to have to score points, because their defense, in my opinion, when you look at Brett Pry leading, when you look at some of the other talented players they had leading, again, you had Brandon Smith leading the linebacker position as well. So I just think they're going to have to score points, and I don't know that they're going to have the offensive line or the playmakers to be able to do it this year.
Good little preview there of the Big Ten with our friend Dustin Schutte, Saturday Tradition. Thanks for jumping on, Dustin. Will be an exciting spring, and we'll have you back soon. Thank you.